Hello, Max. Welcome to Lucia Craft. I know that you have lived and worked in China for many years. So can you remember how many cities have you visited? And during your time here, what the significant changes have you witnessed? I know it's hard to sum up in a few words, but could you please share with us a quick rundown?
Well, you know, I've been living in China for more than 30 years. I came to China first time 1982. So I've really witnessed this remarkable transformation of China. And I've also been a participant in the transformation. So I've been to every province and all the provincial capitals. It's been an amazing experience to follow China over all these decades.
So how long have you been with Scania? I heard that Scania first came into the Chinese market, it was 1965, is that right?
That's correct. Scania sold its first truck to China 1965, and we set up the first rep office in 1986. And then we set up a fully owned import company in 2006. And now, of course, we are building our fully owned factory in Rugao that will open end of this year.
Like you said, you are the witness and the participant of China's development, and also Scania, the same.
Yes. In the 80s, China was opening up to the outside world and needed good transport equipment for containers, transporting export goods and import goods through China's harbors. And that was the opportunity for Scania and also the brand MAN, which is under the TRATON group that I represent. And over the years, other areas in the economy opened up for our type of products, fire engines, construction, bus and coach, and so on. And now we see that there are four very important trends that are shaping the future of transportation. One is the upgrading of equipment. We call it premiumization. In Chinese, it's called gaoduanhua. Second one is specialization, going towards more specialized transport solutions. Third one is compliance, that now the equipment and the users of equipment need to meet with ever stricter rules and regulations. And the fourth is, of course, decarbonization, to use less energy to transport more, basically.
Yeah, let's come to the question about the sustainable transportation system, right?
Yes.
So with the growing focus on the environmental issues and the continuous improvement of policies, so how do you assess the development in clean energy, green transportation in China in recent years?
Well, of course, China is the leader in green technologies. Talk about wind, solar power, electric vehicles, batteries, all the software that is regulating how we use energy. It's very impressive. So for us, China has become not only an important market, but also an important source of new technologies that we can incorporate into our products for China, but also for global use. So this is the importance of China, how China has developed.
Mm-hmm. So you also had R&D in China?
Yes. I'm very proud to say that we now have already 600 people working in China on R&D to integrate into the Chinese innovation ecosystems and to integrate these ideas into our products and services.
This year marks the 50th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between China and the EU. As the former president of EU Chamber of Commerce in China, how do you see in the future China and EU can further strengthen cooperation in various areas?
Well, as we're all aware of, the whole geopolitical world map is being redrawn as we speak. And despite of this, we still need to focus on what's important. The important is to improve the lives of people around the world. And therefore we need to focus on ensuring that we have a sustainable and healthy environment to live in, and that we can still access good and cost-efficient products. And here Europe and China should work even closer together, especially now in the new geopolitical context. That will benefit Europe, it will benefit China, it will benefit our customers and ultimately the quality of life of people around the world.
And according to the government work report during this year's two sessions, China is aiming for the economic growth rate is around 5%. So what's your view about around this 5%? Is ambitious or practical?
And I think this is what the Chinese government means when they talk about new quality productive forces or new quality growth. And this is something that we support. And I can give an example. In our industry, we think that the present annual sales of around 600,000 vehicles is a good equilibrium point for China. Many players are disappointed that it's not 1 million like it was a few years ago. But now we are looking at 600,000 with higher quality vehicles. And in that environment, we as a company want to take market shares.
In your view, for the foreign companies, especially the European companies, does the Chinese market still attractive for them? And what are the competitors of the Chinese market in your view? And the high level opening up, do you think this will draw more focus of the European companies to the Chinese market?
Actually, China is already very open. 70% of all Chinese industrial segments are open to foreign trade. That is actually more than even some European countries. China is attractive also because it has fantastic supply chains. But what makes China now even more attractive and important to foreign companies is that China has become one of the global innovation centers. As a company, we need to be agnostic to where we pick up the best technologies. In order to stay competitive, we need to have presence in all the markets and countries around the world where innovation is taking place. That makes China attractive. Apart from that, of course, China is one of the world's largest economies, and by being the world's largest manufacturing base, it is the largest B2B business environment. So China is very attractive.
For the newcomer, the brand new foreign companies coming to the Chinese market, so what advices would you give them?
In China, you need patience. It takes a long time to develop business in a continent-sized country like China. So when you go into China, you need to be prepared to see this as a long-term investment. If you do that, I think you will be successful.
Last but not least, about who actually bears the cost of US tariffs. Yeah, we say that with the increasing global concern about the US tariff policies, so what influence this will give for the international imports and exports, and how can all the parties involved respond to this challenge?
Tariffs lead to cost increases that the end user always have to carry, or companies become less profitable, and if they don't make money, they die. But another issue is that tariffs and also control of technologies mean that companies need to set up more regional businesses. When we have to do it regionally with regional standards, regional supply chains, also the costs come up. And this drives inflation, and it decreases the efficiency of our global production systems. It's not good for anyone. So, of course, as companies, we are for open trade. We are for free investment between countries.
Yes. Thank you, Matt. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.